You ever see your reflection and think, wow, I look rough? Hey everybody, Tanner. And I thought I might as well start the video right now about is it too late to start? Because I felt like working out, lifting weights, for example, that's a really good example to help me communicate my message on is it too late to start anything. There can be like a line here and there, like, okay, it's definitely too late to start. For the most part, most of us, it's really not too late to start. So let's go over lifting weights, for example. Hold on, I'm going to do another set. So with exercising, people either want to get stronger, they want to get leaner, they want to just gain more muscle, maybe get bigger, or a combination of them all. In the moment, we never really question, is it too late to get stronger? Is it too late to get leaner? We just kind of think, well, we'll do the best we can and see where we get and go from there. And I feel like that's the attitude a lot of us need to have whenever we're considering to start anything else, such as a YouTube channel, for example. I say that because you're on YouTube watching this video. I feel like that there's common reasons why people might question whether or not it's too late to start anything. And this video is going to have 4 of those reasons. So in this video, the 4 reasons that I'm going to go over. Industry saturation, you being too old, you being too young, and honestly, you probably being too shy. Let's get into it. Alright, welcome to my garage. So throughout this video, I'm going to be using creating a YouTube channel as the example because this just seems like the most easiest example to relate to. And my reasoning is just because creating a YouTube channel, a social media platform, that's on a lot of people's minds, whether you're a business owner, you're just a creative kind of individual, or honestly, you're just into social media. So YouTube is going to be on your list of potential platforms to be on. So going on from there, reason number 1, the reason why you're considering not making a YouTube channel is because the market is way too saturated. There's too many people already doing what you want to do. They're talking about what you want to talk about. And honestly, what they're saying is probably what you agree with. It's probably how you taught yourself whatever it is that you know. You might be thinking, why should I create a YouTube channel and say my part when my part is pretty much the same thing what everyone else is already saying and what they stand by? I'm just going to be regurgitating that information. Really, that's a fair thought. Now, depending on what kind of industry you want to be a part of, that's going to determine whether or not you should create a channel. But is it something that should be repeated, and is it something that you should remind people? Is it an industry that has room for you to get in there and actually make an impact? And are you going to bring a fresh face to the audience that is already there? These are things to consider. For me, back in 2017, 2018, I was this close to starting a YouTube channel for the fitness industry. I wanted to elaborate on different training methods, diets that worked for me. My topics were going to be revolving gym culture and training and nutrition because I really loved that. That was not just my hobby. I don't want to say that was my way of life, but that was such a part of my life and still is today. But I kind of sat down and I thought, well, what can I bring that's new? I taught myself everything that I know from actual professionals who have YouTube channels. I really thought I'm just going to be regurgitating everything that I've been taught on this platform, but it's going to be coming from one channel instead of multiple individuals on their own different channels. And ultimately, I did not follow through with that because I just thought I'm not going to bring anything new to the table. My point of view is just pick what works for you and go with that. And as you get older, as time progresses and as your goals change, you're going to be replacing those with other things that work well for you. I feel like over time people are just going to realize that if they don't get burnt out from not getting the results that they want. Moving on from that, I'm going to go do another set. I just set the focus. I thought I was going crazy. Those past other clips. Alright, so reason number 2, you're too old. Yeah, you're pretty old. That's mean, I'm sorry. So with being too old, I don't really like this, and this kind of goes to my heart because we all get older, and over time, I mean, we're gonna set this limitation on our own selves, like, oh, I'm too old to get into this, or I'm getting way too old to do that. I just don't like that. I don't want to live the rest of my life thinking, oh, I'm too old to do this. That's such a powerful limitation for some people as well. And honestly, if you're in that mindset right now, before I say anything else, if you're in that mindset right now, I think you need to take steps to get out of that mindset because it's toxic. Just to say you're too old to do something while you're still living and breathing, I hate that. I really do, and I hope that you can get out of that. Being too old is not a curse. Being too old is not a bad thing. Being too old is a blessing because you've made it this far and you've got that much more experience. So that's something that you can share. You might even have an audience that no one else has tapped into in your desired industry because they want an older person, or they respect an older person, or they're just more naturally attracted to hear an older person speak on a certain subject. Ultimately, I don't think being too old is an excuse to not create something. I hope that makes sense. My mindset is you're still alive, you have the ability to grab a camera, to edit a video. Do it. Don't tell yourself you're too old. Number 3, you're too young. This is very different from the too old reason. When you're too young, people aren't going to really listen to you as much as someone who's older than you. You can just take a guess as to why. To all the young people out there, you're doing a great job. There's so many people on social media who are young and they're killing it. They're so innovative with what they do. There's some young people who just make idiots of themselves. That's just part of life. You see it. But there's other young people who are really bringing something new to the social media platforms as a whole, and that's what we want to see. To those young people who might feel like, I'm not going to start a channel, or I'm not going to start this other social media account because I'm just too young, I'm not that experienced, you can just document your journey on getting better at whatever it is that you want to do. People love to see that, especially once you're like 100 videos in or 50 videos in. People like to find a channel and think, oh, that's really interesting. While I fix my mustache. I have no wax in it right now, so I just feel it going down. But people like to find a channel that they like, and if they like it enough, they'll scroll down and find the older videos. And sometimes they'll stumble upon where that creator was initially. And some people love to see that progression, or just where they were, because it's interesting, especially if you're genuinely interested in that creator. You love to see their old videos and just see where they were. You're young, or if you say that you're young, whatever number that is to you, you don't need to say that. Just go ahead and start making stuff. Alright, I'm gonna put 295 on there. 275 feels fine, but I feel like I should do 295. Yeah, we'll do 295. In 2021 in August, I pulled my groin. Never pulled my groin before. When I pulled my groin, I was doing pause squat. I was warming up on my pause squat, so I had 385 on there. I went down, paused. As soon as I started to come back up, I felt a pull at my groin. And I thought, did I just pull my groin? In the moment, I thought, I didn't really do anything to give myself an injury. I'll do another rep, and I still had the bar on me. So I went down again, and it felt a little tight. And when I came up again, it was so much worse, and I finished the rep. I thought, yeah, I think I pulled my groin. Because I'm strong and healthy, I ended up doing 405 on deadlifts, just to kind of get some volume, and I did a whole upper body workout. And I was like, oh, this is kind of sore. It just feels weird. I think I pulled my groin. And I did. I think if I just did the first rep and racked it, it would have been a 3-month recovery. It was quite literally a 6-month recovery from that exact date to 6 months later. That exact day, I started squatting again. And like during that time in recovery, I could still do snatches. I could still do a full snatch. I could still do pause snatches. I could still do clean and jerks for the most part. I just couldn't squat for the life of me. I just kept up with it. My front squat has actually gotten stronger. Before I pulled my grind, it was like 325. It's at 365 now. My back squat went from 470 something. It's at 500 now since then. So it's really not too late. That kind of goes back to me saying, oh, I'm too old. You're not. You're still alive. Your body's still functioning. I don't know what situation you're in. I'm in like a pretty blessed situation. I have all my limbs and everything. But I mean, there's people deadlifting with one leg. There's people doing Olympic weightlifting with one arm. I don't know what excuses you have, but they're probably something that you can get over. It's just not going to make it as easy for you as it is for me. I think since you're alive, you should be doing what you're thinking about all the time. I don't mean to get so deep, but that's just how I really feel. I'm going to do one more set, and then I got to get out of these clothes. Yeah, front squatting, it always feels more impactful because I'm not using any knee sleeves right now or belt. I just am using finger tape and rolled up joggers. It's good to be able to squat a good amount of weight. You know, it hasn't been proven yet, but I really feel like a mustache helps with weight training, whether you're wanting to diet or get stronger. Just having like a mustache, it doesn't even need to be curled in any way. Just having a mustache, I feel like it does make you stronger. At least for men. I can't really speak on behalf of women because I'm just not a woman. It adds like an extra 40 to 60 pounds, you know, to whatever movement you're doing. At the time. I have a Snapchat. Send me a TikTok. I'll look at it later. Alright, so reason number 4. You're too shy? I don't really know a better word. Maybe you're just overthinking it. But I want to use shy because I feel like that's a very simple word to... I want to use the word shy because I feel like that's a very simple term to associate the feeling with. Because maybe you're not literally shy. Maybe it's another word. It's similar to the feelings that you get when you're shy about something. So growing up, I moved quite a few times. In elementary school, I'll have to sit down and actually backtrack the amount of times my body has moved from one home to the other. Throughout all those moves, I had to start over again. Especially in the early 2000s, before even Facebook was a thing. I did have to start over quite a few times. Now, whenever I would start over, I would be pretty quiet. And that's because I'm taking in my surroundings. Because I moved to another state, people there act differently than the people from the other state that I lived in. That's just natural. And so I would observe and see how people conducted themselves. I mean, if you can just think of like typical school stereotypes or niches, I was identifying who those are. And people always thought I was just a naturally quiet person. I'm not really the quiet person. I've just had a lot of practice being quiet. It was also similar to if you haven't moved before, but you've had, you know, new jobs. If sometimes they've said, oh, you know, you're a quiet person, aren't you? It's like, no, it's not really my place to be a talkative person right now. You're telling me about the work culture and what the job is like. I'm listening. I'm absorbing the information. But sometimes in some moves, I would ultimately start to become the quiet kid because I just wasn't connecting with anybody. In high school especially, it was getting difficult too because most people grew up with all those students from when they were in kindergarten or preschool to now. So like they had those strong, almost unbreakable connections. And I was the new kid in sophomore year of high school. I was in that spot to where I was starting to be the quiet person, which made me feel kind of shy to people. And to get over that, I just had to start talking. And there are some ways that you can do that. If you want to create a connection virtually, digitally, like this, like through a video, you could just talk about something that's either mainstream right now, it's trending in your industry. You can have people engage with your platform. Say, hey, comment down below, or let me know what you think about this, and we can have a discussion about it. If you're in person, and let's say you're in school, find someone who has similar interests like you. If it's anime, for example, be like, hey, do you watch Demon Slayer? Or did you watch all of Shippuden? And break that ice. Chances are, if they love anime, they've already seen all of Shippuden. They've seen all the movies. So break that ice and just start talking about what you like about it, and maybe talk about some like more sensitive subjects in that. Like, do you think Sasuke should die right now? And that'll get them talking. It's just like a little bit of advice. I hope that kind of gets your brain thinking of, okay, I want to get out of this like kind of shyness or quietness or hesitant or timid or whatever word that you use to associate that feeling to. You want to get out of that and you just don't know where to go. I hope that kind of gives you some idea or some options to go from. But really, if you're too shy to create a YouTube channel right now, just put a camera in front of you and start talking to it. Start looking directly into the lens. Start speaking to it like an actual person. Just pretend it's a real person. And just record yourself. Then play back that recording. Realize that your voice does not sound exactly what you think it sounds like. I sound like that? Don't overthink it. Easier said than done, but don't overthink it. Alright. Time to get out of these sweaty clothes. Yeah, thanks for... Hold on. Much better. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that I was able to give you ideas on how you can move past whatever excuses or maybe limitations that you're putting on yourself to create something new. Again, for this video, the example was creating your own YouTube channel, but it can really be applied to anything, or at least most of anything, things that I can think of at least. And honestly, you're not alone. This was my first actual video, and it was to go off the idea of, can you start something new? And ultimately the answer is yes, because I'm starting something new. It's not too late for me, it's not too late for you. So go out there and make something new and share it with the world. Let other people see it and grow from it. I hope that this helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.